The chair of a major property company in Vietnam has been sentenced to death in the country's biggest financial fraud case. Truong My Lan was on trial alongside 85 other co-accused for the embezzlement of $12.5 billion. The prosecutor's call for the death sentence was seen as an unusually severe punishment. Lan's arrest in October last year was part of an anti-corruption drive, which has reached into the upper echelons of Vietnamese politics. I'm joined now by journalist Michael Tatarski, talking to us from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam's financial hub. Michael, a little perspective here. Explain the magnitude of this case.
Sure. So I'll admit right at the start that the numbers have been a little confusing at times. Lan, before the verdict, had been accused of embezzling $12.5 billion from a bank that she was the controlling owner in. Today's verdict, they ruled that she needs to reimburse the bank $27.5 billion or $27 billion. It's not entirely clear where the difference in those numbers comes from. But either way, the dollar amounts are massive, by far the largest financial crime in Vietnamese history, and indeed among the largest in world history, I believe.
The numbers are massive, and the punishment is huge, you might say. Why the death sentence?
Yeah, as you noted, this is rare, certainly, in financial crimes. I mean, Vietnam does have the death penalty. It's not widely used, and certainly not in sort of, for lack of a better phrase, white-collar crime like this. But prosecutors recommended it late last month, given the sheer scale of the crime. And this morning, the court said that they believed Lan deserved the highest punishment, which kind of made it clear what the verdict would be. So it's, I guess, clear that they want to make an example of her, and given, again, the scale of this, took this kind of unprecedented step with the verdict.
Michael, I'm curious, what in general is known about the other 85 people accused of some involvement in this case?
So many of them are relatively unknown, but there are a few other high-profile defendants. Truong My Lan's niece, for example, she received 17 years in jail. She was the CEO of another major company within the Thinh Phat ecosystem. Also, Lan's husband, who is actually a Hong Kong national, which will be interesting, got 9 years in jail for his involvement, though I think he kind of was trying to plead ignorance of the Vietnamese system and laws here and processes. It will be interesting to see the international reaction to that one. And then perhaps the other most notable one is an official from the State Bank of Vietnam, who was accused of receiving a $5 million bribe from Lan to overlook her activities. She received life in jail. And the other defendants ranged from probation sentences to a few other life sentences as well.
I'm sure this is one of the few things people there in the region are talking about today. What's likely to be the political ramifications of all of this?
Politically, it remains to be seen. I mean, this comes within the broader context of a large election campaign. Vietnam's president resigned last month related to this campaign, not this trial, but this campaign. But this is largely in the private sector, and the impact here in Ho Chi Minh City has been profound. Thinh Phat and its various subsidiaries control something like 1,000 properties in the city, all of which have been seized by the police for investigation. It's not clear what kind of legal process those buildings will go through. This includes unfinished skyscrapers and very high-profile properties. So the political fallout at the moment appears to be relatively minimal, but certainly on the private sector side here at Ho Chi Minh City, this is going to be felt for a very long time.
That's journalist Michael Tatarski. Michael, many thanks.